Hey folks, welcome to another VR video. It's been a long time since we had an episode of low poly armor, and I am excited to be in the first beta, which at some point was called beta number 3 and is now again called beta number 1. The important thing is this is the first beta of Redemption's Guild. All of the gameplay that I had previously, that was alpha or pre-alpha. It's been a few years since this game started development. I first played it back in 2017. I loved it. I last played it back in 2020. And now we're here and it's getting very close to release. This is the first beta. The first steps I'm going to take in that beta. I've already input my name. But other than that, this is the first we're going to play this. So we've got 5 classes now. When we last played, we had the Elementalist, which didn't really work, the Rogue, which was my favorite, and the Knight. Now we've got a Cleric and a Berserker as well. We're going to go in as my favorite to start here, as the Rogue. Actually, we're going to look at this first. I didn't know this was coming. So when you hold on to the little orb here, it gives you more information about each of the character classes. That's pretty sweet. So we've got class mechanics of stealth and trap avoidance. And the class role is melee damage. Yes, lots of melee damage. Armed with poisons and lightweight armaments, rogues usually have a cunning way to escape any dire situation that they may find themselves in. So example skills could be Vanish, Merciless Assault, and Blindside. We're going to let that ball drop. It should reappear there in just a moment. Popped right in front, just like I expected. Knight. Class mechanics include Shield Interrupt. Class role is melee damage and tank. With both sword and shield in hand, knights defend their allies and root out wickedness in accordance with the Code of Chivalry. Example skills include Rally, True Strike, and Recover. And then the third class we were sort of aware of, the Elementalist. And their class mechanic is the Elemental Tome. You'll remember I had a book attached to one of my hands. They have the class role of ranged damage, harnessing the power of the protein elements, fire, ice, lightning, and arcane. It was arcane all along. I used to think it was poison a couple of years ago. Elementalists can weave magical spells against their opponents. So they have Arcane Missile, Incinerate, and Ice Shield. We'll drop that ball as well. Let's check out the Berserker next. Now this is a new class since the last time I played the game. Their class mechanic is Berserk, and their class role is melee damage or tank. Berserkers call upon a tempest of their own wild emotions to inspire themselves and unleash swift and devastating death upon all who would stand in their way. Example skills include Intimidation, or Intimidate, I guess, Looming Presence, and Bloodthirst. And then the last currently available class is the Cleric. Their class mechanic is Wisp and Dual Casting. They're a ranged damage healer class. Through faith and prayer, clerics are able to wield the intense, holy light of the goddess to either subjugate evil or imbue the righteous with life and vitality. So you can imbue life, stifle, and mend wounds. Let's not kid ourselves. We want to be the rogue, right? Of course we do. So we can choose between 2 different locomotion options, teleportation and sliding. We're going to go with sliding for today. I do also want to mention this menu screen is an area within Arid Dunes.
Welcome to Redemption's Guild.
That was a very nice welcome. So we are now inside Tilnu Tavern. And this is the brand new tutorial that's been added to the game since I last played it. Everything I'm going to say is brand new. It's probably a year or 2 old at this point, to be perfectly honest. But it says, welcome to Redemption's Guild. That's what she just said in my ear as well. Please approach the card and press start to begin the tutorial. If you choose sliding, push the left analog touchpad in the desired direction to move. If you choose teleportation, depress the analog touchpad and aim the reticle where you want to land. So I can probably do both, but I think I already chose one. Tutorial cards. You can press the right arrow to progress through the tutorial cards. You can also use the left arrow to return to a previous card. Motion sickness, one of my favorites. No, not really. If you suffer from VR-induced motion sickness, we recommend using teleportation. Otherwise, if you still prefer sliding, then you can enable the VR comfort option in the settings page of your notebook. This will partially conceal your virtual peripheral, limiting your view. Character rotation. You can actually rotate your character using the right analog touchpad like that. You can change your movement and rotation options in the settings of your notebook. Now, a lot of people are going to be upset that I say this, but I like the fact that it's snap turning. Lots of people love smooth turn. Not for me. I will say, when I last played this, I don't think you could turn with either option. You physically turned your body. So this helps a lot with me because I play seated for the majority of my gameplay to be able to move and turn in any direction at all. You can change your movement and rotation options in the page of your notebook, as I said. Player Notebook. The notebook provides a way to track a variety of information as well as various settings to adjust. To open and close your notebook, press the primary button on your left controller. Now this is the interesting thing. They have to make this accessible for all different control schemes for all different VR headsets. So calling it a primary button, I'm not sure which button that is. We're going to press this one and hope it's right. Ah, it was! Beautiful. So we've got our character, and our account rank is 1 with 0 of 700. I'm doing so well so far. Our armor's at 130. Critical chance is at 8. Fatigue recharge is at 10. Health is at 500. Attack power is 15. Crit effect is 1.75. Healing power is 60. Magic resistance is 130. Again, we've got the different classes and our rank for each one in case we switch between them. What our equipment is, we've got a helmet of some form, a garb or armor of some form, and 2 blades right now. I do have those blades, I hope. Yeah, they're right there. Mastery is the next tab. We've got passive mastery. We've got nothing, of course, in any of these. We can also refund points, which is interesting. So if we don't like the build, we can hit refund at the bottom. And then class skills. These looks like we earn as we go. And they're going to unlock different abilities for each of the classes. We've got our journal. We haven't done anything yet, so if we look at the quest log, it's blank. If we look at the gear collection, it's also blank. We've got our ambassador equipment. Sweet. And our founder equipment. The helm of the dragon. And the armor of the dragon. Beautiful. We've got founder weapons also. No way. Dragon kukris. And the Scorched Founder, Helmet of the Dragon, and Scorched Armor of the Dragon. I am super excited to try those. I will say, though, I don't think they're available currently in the beta. I think they're coming at a future time. We've got our inventory. This will tell us if those things actually exist. We've got our rusted helmets. We've got rusted armor. We've got rusted longswords. We've got rusted daggers. We've got tattered cowls. We've got all kinds of, well, mostly junk, but we'll get better as we go. Multiplayer is coming soon, and then we've got our settings. So we've got, right now we're set on sliding. We could also switch to teleport, change things up a bit if we wanted to. Our turn settings are set to snap. Our turn speed is set to 1. Cell confirmation is on. We don't want to get rid of goods that we don't want to get rid of, if that makes sense. Show tutorial images is on. We could skip the tutorial at all costs, I guess, if we hit off, because there's no real narration in the tutorial. VR comfort is off, otherwise you get kind of a tunnel effect when you're moving about. Compass is on, and the compass height is, let's set it to low. See what that does. Medium is too high, and high is too high. So yes, low is where I want it. Our visual quality and LOD settings, I'm going to leave where they're at because I am playing on a link cable. We can quit the game, but why would we do that? We want to play the game, right? So, looking at the player notebook is complete. I do not want to take a break. I want to move to the next thing here. The notebook character page, we've already gone through. That's going to show your stats, class, and account levels, as well as your equipped gear and astral shards. Your armor and weapons are purely cosmetic. Now this is important because you can build your own style of character, but the weapons make no difference throughout the game. So you could play with these starter weapons the whole game and have the same success as someone that has these awesome dragon ones that I'll have at some point. Your stats can be increased through advancing your levels, equipping astral shards, and through account rank passive increases, which we just kind of looked at, and those will be covered in a later tutorial. In the Journal tab, you'll also find tutorials to help guide you through your adventures. This includes systems covered by this tutorial and more. Interesting. I skipped over most of that. We'll go back to that at a future point once we've completed this portion of the tutorial. Additionally, you can touch the question mark found on the pedestals spread throughout the tavern to show the related tutorial page. And this is the end of the introduction here. It says, please hit the complete button to finish each step of the tutorial. Once completed, the next tutorial will appear. I believe the next one shows up right over there. Please note you will not be able to depart from the tavern until you complete all the tutorials. Smart idea.
Excellent. You are able to traverse your surroundings.
So we're able to traverse our surroundings. As you can see, this is a lived-in tavern. We've got these characters over here. Can we pick these cups up? Yes, we can. Ah, that tastes so good. It looks like a carrot of some form. Is that a carrot? Can I? Well, I don't know. Could be anything, right? Looks like a corn on the cob and a cheese over there, too. Hello, character friends. I know you don't really have any interaction right now. I got a lute and a drum. Can I beat the drum? No, not yet. And a recorder? Is this a recorder? I guess I can't pick that up yet. Lots of cool stuff. There is a chessboard here, and it is my understanding you can actually play chess on this chessboard. And then the next character would pick up theirs. You'd be able to actually play. And then if you want to reset the chessboard, you just tap that, and that resets the player pieces. So that's cool if you're playing multiplayer, which is not currently available in this beta. But we'd be able to actually play a chess game while we're waiting for our other party members to arrive. Something that we recommended and hoped would happen back in the Ambassador demos a couple of years back. We've got more food. Like, this place at least looks lived in, right? I did see a little bit of pop-in over here where this painting is. Yeah, you can see it right there, kind of the room behind it. So I do want to stress this is a beta. This is unfinished product. This is not what you're going to get when the game ships. This person looks kind of like a short little farmer. I like that there are characters of multiple shapes and sizes because I am a unique shape and size, and I also play seated for the most part. So far the game is playing really well for me. This guy is really studying intently the library books here. And there are a lot of books in this tavern. Unfortunately, you can't read them, I don't believe, just yet. But let's go see Shayfira over here.
Well, hello. You're here to trade, aren't you?
I am here to trade. Merchants. During your time in Redemption's Guild, you will find merchants throughout the world that will sell a variety of items that may even carry variations of items that you may have seen before. If you see something you like displayed by a merchant, approach the merchant to show the purchase UI. This UI will show important details about the item, such as the required currency amount, the type, and that's important because this uses these little red currency, which is I think the most common currency. There's also hunt marks, which have higher currency value. In fact, I believe this crystal face guard, nope, that's still a red currency as well. But we'll find a shopkeeper here within Tilnu Tavern that uses the hunt marks, which are rarer currency that you only earn in the game as well. Important details about the item, such as the required currency amount and type, a class symbol to depict which class it belongs to along. Okay, this does not feel like English. To depict which class it belongs to along. I think there needs to be the word with right here. A color dot behind the symbol to identify what color the gear is, and a bag icon if you already own the item. Go ahead and give it a try. We've provided you with enough currency to purchase 1 or 2 items. And then selling. To sell an item, you stand near the merchant, open your notebook, navigate to the inventory page, and select the item you wish to sell. If you're within range of the merchant, a sell button will appear on the right page. If you have multiples of the same item, you can use the sell UI to choose how many to sell. Confirmation will appear if you attempt to sell the last of an item. That's that setting that we were able to enable or disable in the settings page. And then throughout your adventures in Stellaria, you'll come across multiple currencies, gold being the most common to acquire and widely used, and the other being hunt marks. Hunt marks are acquired through difficult challenges and rare chests out in the world. You can use these currencies to purchase items from the merchants as well. And looting. You'll find a variety of items to collect while exploring Stellaria. Typically, items are stored in a canvas sack, which can be found in chests or by defeating enemies. Once you approach the sack, the UI will appear showing the contents. If you see an item you do not wish to collect, simply touch the listed item. The next tutorial is located downstairs, so we'll go ahead and complete. If we wanted to purchase something, which I'm not really sold on purchasing things just yet, or selling things just yet, because I don't even know how much money we've got. Let's actually look. How much money do we have? We have 1,000 coins? I'll tell you what, Shay, I will be back after I do some adventuring. Have a good one.
I used to allow
So, here in the upstairs portion, if we continued forward, which we will eventually get to, that's where all of your adventuring begins. We've got all of these items in here. They're going to have question marks on them. In fact, were there more question marks in here? I didn't look for that. There is a question mark right over here under the selling
hello.
items.
You're here to trade, aren't you?
And this is where we unlock additional tutorials. So I'm not going to do the additional tutorials. I'm going to do the guided tutorial for right now. But it's cool that that question mark exists that can pop up additional information, more tutorial action. There's an upstairs, which we will get to, and this main floor here where your adventures really kick off. But for right now, they have directed us to go downstairs. Before we do that, I want to mention the adventure zones have really nice, useful maps. This will tell you where things are in the adventure zones. So this is the map of Vorheel's Stand. You can see the hero's approach, which is, I'm assuming, where you spawn in the map. And you can see the entire map of Vorheel's Stand. That could be useful. And this is Erida Dunes, the other current adventure zone. I've been obsessed with the Astralith in the center. We'll get to that in a later video this week as we continue our series here about Redemption's Guild. There's also Erida Arena over there, which is kind of its own thing, as well as being part of Erida Dunes. It's an arena mode within the game as well. So we're going to head downstairs into what's essentially the basement of the tavern. Now, back in the olden days, there was this guy that used to run laps, essentially, around this section of the game. Before we go to that circle, I want to show you Salim Ander here. Salim,
if you're looking for rare items, I'm your man.
Has rare items. Now these use hunt marks. You can see the purple logoed hunt marks here. So while they only cost 30 each, or 50 for the armament, these items actually cost, you have to really work to get those hunt marks. I also notice another chest piece here. It's an extra chest piece. Let's go back upstairs. I'm just curious. Was there a chest piece missing all along? No, this is a larger chess piece, it looks like. It's an extra king or queen. Extra queen. Interesting.
Well, hello.
Well, either way, it was not missing from the chessboard. I was just curious about that. We're going to go into the training area here. And before we do that, it says let's discuss holstering. There are 6 holster slots where your equipment can be stowed. In order to stow or grab the equipment, you need to place your hand in the slot's general location. Press the grip button. Equipment will turn blue if it can be stowed into a slot, or if your hand is in the slot and the equipment can be grabbed. Depending on your class, some items may be on your back. These items can be grabbed by reaching over your shoulder and clicking grip. It's important to note that equipment is automatically holstered when you log in or change your class. That makes sense. So we've got the holster slots, and you can see them by these baubles here. The right waist green sphere is where your potion's going to be. I can see that down there. The right red sphere is for class-specific ability objects. I don't have any of those right now. And then you've got your left and right hips, which are for right and left-handed weapons. So you've got a yellow cube and a gray cube. And then the purple and gray on top are for stowing larger items above your shoulders. The dojo is the room ahead. It's the only area in the tavern where combat is permitted. Outside of the dojo, you cannot access your ability menu, cast skills, or take damage. So the next tutorial is located in the dojo ahead. So let's head into the dojo. Down on the ground there's the battle-ready knight. I think it says armored combat book. Oh, wow. I don't know what that noise was. I didn't do it. I think this is the guy that used to run around. Are you lost, sir? I remember back in the day, you would jog from one end of this downstairs to the other. If you're the person I'm thinking of. It's been a while. There's the battle-ready Cleric there. Incidentally, these books don't actually do anything just yet. There's a fatigue system. That is very true. I'm sure we're going to learn about that as we go here. So basic combat. Welcome to the dojo. The following tutorial will cover the basics of combat and how to prepare for the adventures ahead. To begin, you unholster your weapons. If you selected a melee class, you swing your weapons at the dummy. Melee attacks rely on minimum velocity to cause damage. It's important to note that the weapons must fully leave the enemy before attempting to swing again. If you selected a caster class, you can use ranged attacks. These can be activated by pressing the right trigger. Please note, Elementalists require an element to be selected from the tome first. To select an element, you tap a glyph at the end of your wand. Fatigue. If you're playing a melee class and struck the dummies, you may have noticed the illuminated elements on your weapons dimmed. This is your fatigue. Fatigue tracks how often you can attack at full damage. The dimmer the light, the less damage you will deal. Casters don't have to worry about fatigue for their base attacks. Skills. Basic attacks are only the beginning of combat, so let's move on to skills. You currently have no skills purchased, so you are provided with enough skill points to purchase one. To purchase a skill, open your notebook, navigate to the Mastery tab, select Skills. Once you have an ability, the right page will populate with a description of the ability. Please note that several Cleric abilities work as both a single target cast and an area of effect, or AoE. That means it's actually, when you cast that spell, it's actually going to kind of spread around the enemy as well as focus on a single enemy. You'll find a button on the right page that will switch between the descriptions of both the single target and AoE versions. Skills continued. Once you've purchased an ability, you'll be able to assign it. To assign an ability, select the Assign button on the right page, then select the ability slot which you'd like to assign it to. on the bottom of the left page. It's not all about active skills though. The Mastery tab also provides access to the passive system. Passives provide a variety of passive stat increases and abilities to fine-tune your character to your playstyle. Points used to purchase passives can be earned every 5 account levels. Using skills. To cast an ability, open your ability menu by pressing the primary button on your right controller. And that is right here. The right-hand menu hosts your ability menu, which you can then select the ability with the analog touchpad and pulling the trigger. If you feel the need to cancel an ability selection, you can depress your right analog touchpad. Please note, while this menu is open, you cannot rotate your character. And that is very true, because your stick here actually selects from the different abilities. Once you've highlighted an ability, you'll see an additional ability details. Towards the bottom, you'll see details such as the cast charge times and the cooldown. If you're playing a Cleric, you can view your abilities AoE version description by lifting your staff above your head until you see a visual indicator appear on your staff. Class mechanics. The left-hand UI, I don't have one of those yet, will provide details on your class mechanic abilities. These abilities are unique to each class and cannot be swapped out. Please note that Elementalists do not show this UI. There's more to your classes than just mechanic abilities. To learn more about your class, we highly recommend reading your current class's tutorial before starting your adventures. These tutorials can be found in the tutorial section of your notebook or at the pedestal near the class altar here in the dojo. And then the class altar is upstairs. Oh wait, no, class altar is right over there. There's also one upstairs, that's why I was confused. We recommend testing out various classes to get the feel for their weapons. Don't worry, you can change your class freely at any class altar. You will find the class altars not only in the dojo, but also upstairs and in arenas. The next tutorial is located at the other end of the dojo. We're going to hit complete here. We didn't even pull out our weapon or anything. Let's do that. So you can see. If we want to just go with one. Alright, the dojo altar here, so we can parry. Now that we've learned being offensive in combat, let's talk about being defensive. If you're playing a melee class, you'll need to learn how to parry incoming attacks. To parry, you swing your blade at the enemy's weapon when they are attempting to hit you. Your blade must be in motion to parry. If you parry an enemy too many times, their weapons will turn red. This indicates that their weapon is unparryable for a short time. If you find yourself low on health, you may need to take a potion. To use your potion, put your hand in the potion slot, and once the cork turns blue, press the grip button to grab it. Once in your hand, press the trigger on the hand holding the potion to uncork it. Once opened, raise the potion to your mouth and begin healing yourself. The color of the potion will change as it's used. It's important to note that the cork must be reinserted before you holster the potion. Refilling your potion, it has a finite amount of healing liquid, meaning you'll need to refill it throughout your adventures. You can refill your potion by approaching an Aurora's altar. You may also find potion refills when you defeat an enemy. An Aurora's altar, when you first enter an adventure zone, you'll notice a peculiar altar nearby. These are known as Aurora's altars. Apart from the altar that's near where you first appear in the adventure zone, there are 3 altars to identify which will be inactive by default. Altars can be activated by approaching them. Once an altar is activated, it can be used to restore your health or refill your potion once. Additionally, they can endlessly provide energy to resurrect downed players. If you die, your compass will help direct you to activated altars. And then in the dojo spawner, if you're ready to face real threats, we recommend testing your might here. The object you see before you is the dojo spawner. Right over there, you can spawn minions and majors and other fancy things. This will allow you to summon enemies similar to what you'll encounter in your adventures. To spawn an enemy, choose one of the minion or major enemy cards. Select the green circle. If you want to despawn an enemy, please click the red circle. Go ahead and give it a try. Don't worry, you cannot die inside Tilnu Tavern. Combat finish. This concludes the combat tutorials. Perhaps you'd like to get yourself cleaned up. Head to the open room on the second floor for the next tutorial. So we're gonna...
You are taking to your new form quickly.
So we're gonna skip that here. We're going to do... Skeleton Major is new. You know what? I want to... Whoops. Too late. We're spawning our enemies. What's up, my friend? Parry failed, but... Oh, I see. He's actually attacking us from over there. We've turned orange already. Oh! Did he die, or did he despawn there? That was interesting. Alright, let's... I see. There we go. So we do have the ability to holster our weapons. That is good to know. Probably shouldn't be playing in a chair with arms if we're going to be doing that. The next part of the tutorial is upstairs. And we don't have a choice. So if you came here earlier and you skipped the tutorial, you could go to all 4 of these rooms. But since we're playing the tutorial, the way is blocked to only one open room. So this becomes our open room. Here's another book. We've got Matter and Luminescence, or The Birth of Stellaria, and The War in the Realm Beyond. Now, not every book has a title. Only a few, actually. But it's cool that that level of detail is here. It would be very cool if we could actually open and read those books, but this is an extremely small developer team. I don't think that's coming anytime soon. So this part is cool. You can see our tattered rags as a rogue here. Hello. More books. We've got Materia Medica, the art of Teastrian Apothecary. And then that same book that we were just looking at a moment ago. So we're here now. We're in the wardrobe. You can change your equipment items you have found during your adventures. Give yourself a friendly wave. I just did that. Hello. Hello. That's so cool. I really like the fact that this exists because it doesn't need any type of eye or mouth tracking, but it still gives you that idea of presence. When multiplayer comes out, you're going to have lots of presence because you're going to have the other characters there to interact with similar design. Also, one thing I will note, like Meta's avatars, these characters do not have legs. That's because they're coming to us from a spiritual realm. You'll hear that if you listen to the narration, which I've been kind of ignoring in my ear from the character that's telling your story. So we gave ourselves a friendly wave. To equip an item, you'll first need to select an equipment slot, either head, chest, main hand, and offhand. Equipment from your inventory can then be equipped to your current class. That will appear on the far left. Go ahead and select one. So let's go with the head here. We've got our derelict hood. That's what we currently have equipped. There's additional buttons that appear in the center. These denote the various colors available for this piece of gear. When you obtain colored equipment, the corresponding button will become highlighted to show it's available to equip. To equip an item, grab the floating equipment model above the UI. With grip, place it on your chest and release. Looking sharp, keep your eyes peeled while out adventuring. You never know what items you may find. That wraps up the wardrobe tutorial. Head down to the ground floor and enter the office to your right.
Quaint.
So again, let's say we wanted to look at weapons. We've got our left-hand weapon. We can grab that. If we had additional weapons, we could equip it, but we only have one set of everything right now. Alright, so let's head downstairs. As you can see now, the 4 rooms are all available. Each room is very similar, except one has it to the left, the other has it to the right. That's how it works. These apples and oranges? Banana? Thought that was corn earlier. Maybe it was a banana. Got some books over here. Another book over here. This one is The Sacred Scriptures of Aurorus, the Emperor Dirk version. I believe there's someone named Dirk that works on this game, so maybe that's a bit of a shout to them. Didn't realize they were royalty. Next time I see them, I will say hello in chat to the Lord Emperor. I believe we were supposed to go to the right, right? Oh, yes, we were. So now we're going to enter this main adventuring room, the room that's kind of the lobby, if you will, to the rest of the game. Yes, I know I've been walking around this tavern for quite a while. The tavern is not the main game. Let's walk over here and read a little bit more about what we're going to be doing. The Bestowment Altar. Next we'll discuss the Bestowment Altar. This altar is used by the deity Aurorus to grant gifts to Seraphins, which she has returned to Stellaria. That would be what I am. Maybe the person talking to us is actually Aurorus. I don't know. Gifts will be granted to you as you hit certain milestones. You'll know once a gift has been granted, as Aurorus herself will communicate with you. That is Aurorus. I am such a lucky guy to listen to and ignore Aurorus when she's talking. Acquiring gifts. Once a gift has been bestowed, it can be found floating above the altar. To accept a gift, simply place your hand against it and grab it with the grip button and place it to your chest and release. Let's move on to the next tutorial. Head to the Astral Shard altar on the other side of the room. So we do not have a bestowment from Aurorus here. If we did, we'd just grab it and pull it close to our chest, and that would be redeeming that particular gift. We've got another one of these class change altars here. If we didn't follow the tutorial, we'd be able to see that right here, which is kind of cool. And then this is indeed the Astral Shard altar. Linking Astral Shards. To equip an Astral Shard, approach the Astral Shard altar, open your notebook to the inventory tab and select the Astral Shard. We don't have any right now. Next, select the Manifest button on the right page, and this will spawn the shard in the world. Simply grab the shard using grip, place it on one of the shard receptacles found on the altar, and release. Once you have astral shards assigned to the altar, they will remain there throughout your adventures. If you decide to change your class, we recommend updating your equipped shards to better accommodate the class. Make your way to the map on the other side of the office for the final tutorial. Ooh, final. That sounds so finite. Let's go find out. Now keep in mind, after we finish this tutorial, there's a whole bunch of other tutorials. If we hit a question mark button or we access our journal, this is not really the final tutorial. What book is this guy looking at here? Battle Ready Rogue. This is a book about me. A guide to combat. A guide to... Okay, I guess we'll just leave it out a little bit since it's just kind of clipping through the wall here, like my hand. This is the map. This map is used to travel to locations outside of Tilnu. These locations are marked by a small banner icons. Once you touch an icon, you'll see the information about the location on the pedestal to the right of the map. To travel, simply walk into the portal behind the map. Please note some locations may take a moment to load. Map icons. Each location will have a specific icon specific to the type of location it is. A labyrinth is indicated by the black banner with a maze depicted on it. These are maze-like areas that can be difficult to conquer, as you have a set time limit and a boss to defeat. The arena is indicated by the red banner with crossed swords. Here you will face a wave of enemies that will increase in difficulty the longer that you survive. And then the adventure zones are indicated by the blue banner with a compass rose. These zones are dedicated to exploration and assisting the denizens of Stellaria in questing. Additional information. Depending on the location, the pedestal to the right of the map may provide additional information. For example, arenas show the highest wave defeated, and labyrinths show the fastest completion time. Returning home. During your adventures, if you feel the need to return to the tavern, simply open your notebook, select the Return to Tavern button, walk into the portal that appears ahead of you. You can also return to the tavern while dead if needed. This concludes the tutorial. Press Complete to begin your adventure. I do this with great hesitation.
Farewell for now, my champion.
Goodbye, Aurora's voice. I'll see you soon, I'm sure, every time I die. So, loading scenes, there's a help over there. This is a big map of Stellaria. You can see we've got 4 zones. The top one here, if we click on it, this is Tilnu Labyrinth. Delve into the labyrinth halls beneath Tilnu. Will you get lost or find your way to the end? Either way, you'll find the Walking Dead ready to greet you. The time limit is 15 minutes. My best time is 15 minutes and 0 seconds because I've not done this at all. We've also got 2 adventure zones. That's the blue icons here. Erida Dunes is a massive desert full of history, home to a ruined town to the far northwest of the map, and the ancient Astralith standing tall in the center of the desert. Then we've got Vorril's Stand. Vorril's Stand is a small region located south of the capital city. It has always served as a bottleneck, slowing possible threats approaching from the west. A statue dedicated to Vorril stands vigil in the canyon, commemorating the fallen hero. And then the final scene is the Erida Arena. The arena sits in a basin within Erida, offering little reprieve from the sun. Despite that, there has been gatherings of beings in the area. Be careful. Highest round is 0. So those are the 4 zones that we'll be exploring in future videos. For right now, we're going to go back to our room and say goodbye. Hope you've enjoyed this little tour of the tavern and at least the beginner tutorial, the interactive tutorial that gets you started in the game. Until next time, happy adventuring. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with more content soon. I'm actually going to have a few episodes of low poly armor scattered throughout other videos this month and more in the future because this is just the first beta. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.